What's going on, guys? Barricade here, and I want to talk to you guys about Diablo 4 Season 2 and my impressions of the announcement from the first part of what's going to be Season 2, the Season of Blood in Diablo 4, right? On October 4th here, we had a dev live stream video where they kind of alluded to a bunch of stuff coming up, but there's a second live stream supposed to take place on October 10th, which I'm also looking forward to. So hopefully you're checking this video because you want to get my impressions on what I think. Here's what I think so far, and the reasons for these thoughts are predicated on my experience in Diablo 4 thus far. So in Season 1, I've got a 100 sorceress. I have one 100 character, which is maybe less than some of you. Maybe some of you never even hit 100. You just got bored of the game, and it's just not for you. Well, for me, I hit level 100 on a sorceress because consensus was that the sorceress sucks and there's not much to do, so it can't even ever get to the end game. And I said, okay, screw that. We're going to try and make a build that slaps. And we did. We had a Conjuration sorceress. It was Conjuration Frozen Orb, and it could clear Echo of Lilith. It could do tier 100 carries, and that's what I do. A big part of who I am, if you're just meeting me for the first time, I like to do community-engaged events. Like, I like to play with you, if I can, in a game, get awesome loot, enjoy the end game, enjoy what the game has to offer, and then we move through it and do that for other people. We just constantly pay it forward. I love that. Playing with you guys makes gaming better for me. I just have the most fun doing that. In Diablo 4, that's like not even possible, unfortunately, right? If you're not in a clan that I'm actively in, or you're not on my friends list, on my Battle.net list, which was recently updated to allow for more people, I can't even play with you. In Diablo 4 Season 2, the Season of Blood, I still can't do that. They never addressed that issue, so I'm a little bit lackluster on that from a social aspect. This is an MMO ARPG. Where's the MMO? Where's that community feel? I'm typically finding myself in an instance of like 11 other people. That's not open world enough. That's not what I thought I'd be getting. So they haven't touched on that yet in the first 50% of what's coming in Season 2. I hope they speak more to that. Unfortunately, in the live stream, when that question kind of came up, they didn't really answer that question. So that's a little bit tough for me to, that's a tough pill to swallow, but I'd like that to be enhanced. If I could play with more people and do more events, I would love that for Diablo 4 Season 2. So now that that's done, I want to share some notes that I've taken with you from the Diablo 4 Season 2 live stream. Just honest, open, just this is what I think is going on. This is the stuff that's getting me kind of interested to even check out Season 2. It's more than just Nightmare Dungeons, and yeah, let's see what they've got under the hood so far. Remember, this is only one of 2 campfire chats. It took 2 hours to do. Let's see what we took away. From my perspective, that was valuable, and it makes me want to play Season 2. So Season 2 brings 22 new vampiric powers broken up into 2 separate categories. The first one being minor vampiric powers, the second being major vampiric powers. And certain powers require more packs. As an example, I'll pause this here just so you can check it out. You need 6 packs required to achieve certain things like the Accursed Touch, whereas a minor one only requires 1 to 3 packs to activate. So additional character powers that we get to enjoy, I kind of like that. I want to see what maybe I can do with these powers in addition to legendary aspects on my gear to make the most out of it for my character. Another thing that I think is kind of interesting is right here, these Blood Seekers. So these are characters like rogues, barbarians, necros, druids, right? All that jazz. They're put into the game as vampiric opponents that are going to randomly show up and sort of infiltrate our events, whether it's going to be open world content or Nightmare Dungeons or who knows, whatever. These guys are going to be a necessary asset to give us potent blood, which is a currency we're going to use to upgrade our vampiric, I guess, what is the term that they use here? Pacts? The pacts that we put on our gear. So I kind of like this idea of a new monster kind of engaging with me in the open world randomly, kind of like a butcher event. I always like that. That always feels good. And apparently Diablo 4 Season 2 is going to have even more of these infiltrating assholes that I get to lay down and maybe put a stake right through their face. Just grab them up and send it, eh? Sounds sick. Let's line that up and slay out. Okay, so at the forefront of Diablo 4 Season 2 is the Blood Harvest event. This is an hour-long rotation that occurs anywhere outdoors, not in like Nightmare Dungeons in Diablo 4, so that's kind of awesome. I don't just want to be held down inside a Nightmare Dungeon, and the dev team realized this, as did, I guess, everybody working on the project. So this is going to be like Terror Zones in Diablo 2. Every hour on the hour, it kind of rotates around, whether it's the Burning Steppes, Hawazar, Skaz Glen, looks like potentially Ked Bardu based on the graphic, right? So our job is going to be going in here and cleansing vampires out of this region, out of this zone for the hour, to get as much profit as we can. When I say profit, I'm going to introduce you to this term here called I believe it's the Hunter's Acclaim Board. That's what they're calling it. So all of the work that you're doing in these zones is going to allow you to go ahead and potentially purchase additional powerful upgrades for your character in the form of vampiric powers, additional armor, and weapons so that your adventures through Sanctuary are a little bit easier. I kind of like that a lot because there's one thing I don't enjoy is doing the same repetitious activity, getting absolutely 0 player power the whole time, and this sort of cures that. So at least that's kind of nice. This is constantly something you're going to be doing to increase the packed power of your gear. Hopefully you get some like blood seekers in there so you can get some more potent blood to empower your vampiric character even further. Love this. Can't wait to do this. This is going to coincide with Hell Tides. It's going to coincide with like bosses in the open world and also Tree of Whisper content. Like all that jazz is happening at the same time. So maybe an opportunity to double dip, triple dip on the activities. Like that quite a bit. Eager to slay some vampires in this activity. This is the meat and potatoes. This is the Season of Blood content progression board that Joe Pipora and the rest of the team sort of rolled out to us and what they're allowing us to enjoy in Diablo 4 Season 2. Right now in Diablo 4, there is 2 tunnels of content you could enjoy, right? You have Nightmare Dungeons and you have Echo of Lilith. And if you don't care about doing a tier 100 completion of Nightmare Dungeons, then you probably got bored at around 50 to 70. After your campaign ended and doing this, it's like it kind of eroded. It's gone. Maybe you're like me, you wanted to get a tier 100 completion just to say you did the toughest dungeon. Congratulations, right? Pat yourself on the back and you move on. Awesome. Then you had Echo of Lilith. That's it. As you can see now, you've got Echoes of Varshan, the Beast in the Ice. You've got Duriel, King of Megates, Grigor, the Galvanic Saint, and Lord Zir, which is actually right there. So to get access to these guys, you kind of have to be fed certain content from certain systems that already exist. I like this. This gives me a reason to grind the game even more because now we know that Varshan, Zir, Beast in the Ice, right? Duriel, King of Megates, they're all going to have specific uniques that you can target farm. Target farming is why I got into ARPGs in the first place. I want to try and enjoy my character with uber powerful shit and dominate things. That's what I like to do. And then in addition to that, use that player power to help carry you in your adventures so you can feel the same way. You could have potentially like a shake go or whatever the hell these new items are going to be. There's supposedly 12 new uniques. Beyond all that though, this is the system that we're all going to live through and enjoy in the endgame experience using the systems that exist in Diablo 4 thus far. Now, according to Pez Radar, all of the uniques in the game of Diablo 4 have been reworked. The class balancing changes are coming up. The resistance system is fixed. I love all that stuff. That sounds like quality of life stuff, which is great. I'm not even speaking on the stash tabs, the filtering, any of that stuff. That's all like why we play the game is to acquire powerful loot, and then the ability to find it easier should have been in the game baked in the base. It wasn't. It should have been there. I'm happy that it's there, and I could move on to enjoy the next version of Diablo 4, which has loot filtering, not additional stash tabs. I think that's a faux pas, and I don't buy the answer. We should have a shit ton of stash tabs, like 25 plus minimum. You make more than one character, you immediately feel the squeeze. And I really think, Blizzard, if you're listening, you absolutely should allow us to imprint the Codex of Power with the best found legendary. Then we can put that on the account and apply that new legendary power to any character we want after we found it. That'll alleviate a massive amount of tremendous legendary acquisition that we have already. And that'll also open up some stash space. That's like a no-brainer. It just makes sense to me, but there's probably reasons why you don't do it. I just don't know what they are. And as a person enjoying the game, I think I would enjoy it more if that were the case. But be that as it may, I like the creative execution of applying uniques to Echo of Varshan, the Beast in the Ice, Duriel, King of Megates, Grigor, Galvanic Saint, and Lord Zir. I do like the creative execution of how you get there. So if you want to go ahead and fight Echoes of Varshan to get the ancestral best version of things, you're forcing me to do Whispers. That's fine. You're allowing me to engage in Nightmare Dungeons to acquire uniques off the Beast in the Ice. I like that too. Grigor, I have to do Hell Tides to get it. I recently didn't have a reason to do Hell Tides. I didn't care. It didn't matter. I can get more player power, more mob density, more XP out of Nightmare Dungeons, so I'll just go do that. But now when you force me to do the Hell Tides, or world bosses or legion events to go fight Lord Zir, now that's kind of awesome. And then you guys said something that was also really cool, right? If I want to fight these bosses ad nauseum, like that's all that I want to do, you made it possible. You allowed me to trade for the components required to summon these fights, to summon the dungeon components to access them and fight them. I like that a lot. And then you said like, well, you're not always going to get a uber unique when you fight Duriel, King of Megates, but now you have the option to. It's rare. It's rare, but you can do it. I like that. I don't know because nobody said the number, but I wish we knew the numbers, right? Like when I fight Duriel, King of Megates, if it was 1 in 500 attempts, okay. If it was 1 in 250 attempts, okay, now I know. And I can sort of plan my day around that. I could plan a stream around that. I could plan community events around that. But just know this, even without knowing the number, I am still going to host events where all we do is accumulate all the required components necessary to fight Duriel, King of Megates, get this guy on farm and give him free tattoos. The 12 to 6, right? All that jazz, we're going to slap him around. That's what I want to do. With the new Diablo 4 Season 2 rollout for your content progression, there's now 5 new events that we can all do together instead of just one, basically Nightmare Dungeons or Echo of Lilith. And I'm excited to engage in those events with you guys. So my overall honest impressions of the game, it's looking more dense. I like that. You're adding more and more to the game. I like that too. Give me a reason to grind and make it possible to actually achieve uber uniques. That's all I was looking for. So we're going to do another react video to something like this in October 10th, right? There's a second stream. So we're doing that live. You can join the watch party. It's twitch.tv/barricade. I'll be there with the dudes and dudettes just watching it, having a conversation about it. And if you're interested, you can be a part of that as well. Trying to have a good time with it. We'll see what happens in the future. Thanks for giving this video a shot. Much love. Take care. And I'll see you on the next one.